The 10th Assembly has emphasized the need to address educational barriers for women and close the human resources gap in governance to create a more inclusive legislative process. This discussion came as women's participation in governance appears to be on the rise, demonstrated by their exceptional academic performance during the just concluded 8th academic session aimed at enhancing legislative and democratic governance in Nigeria, organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS. Mavisako has the details of this report.
Legislation and democratic governance are essential frameworks for creating laws and public policies that serve the interests of citizens. They ensure accountability, transparency, and participation in governance. Strengthening these systems is vital for national development and stability, as effective governance fosters trust in institutions and enhances the quality of life for all citizens. This is the context for the 8th convocation ceremony of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, and the University of Benin, UNIBEN.
I have the honor and privilege to call upon you to declare this convocation open.
In his address, Senate President Barau Jibrin highlighted that the program addresses the human resources gap in Nigeria, underscoring the need for better funding.
Despite lingering challenges in the nation's educational sector, data shows that Nigeria has recorded better performance in its Human Capital Development Index in the UNDP 2024 report than it did in 2019. Supporting the education sector through increased funding will therefore enable our country to record significant transformational changes. This is why the 10th Senate has continued to support policies such as the student loan program and to take other initiatives towards addressing out-of-school children.
The Director General of the Institute, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, emphasized that NILDS training is crucial for equipping professionals with the knowledge and skills needed to contribute to legislative and democratic processes across the country.
The academic programs offered by NILDS in collaboration with its partners are helping to close the knowledge gap and capacity needs in the nation's governance sectors. Parliaments across Africa and beyond are also seizing the opportunity offered by NILDS to enhance their knowledge in specific areas of legislative and democratic governance. As I speak to you, our training department and resource persons are engaged in capacity development for members of the budget committees from the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. We are also working with development partners and CSO in promoting inclusion in governance, strengthening the nation's resilience to climate change, and strengthening governance structures at the local levels, as well as helping to ignite patriotism among students at all levels towards supporting democracy in Nigeria.
The Vice Chancellor stated that the program is industry-driven.
The National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Study is unique in structure and content, and it is only the institution of higher learning in the country that exclusively caters to the legislative manpower needs. Therefore, not only are the programs offered by the Institute relevant to the social political needs of our dear country, they are industry also driven. That is why the engagement of high caliber faculty staff and provision of facilities are paramount. These are distinguished chairman of NIGCOMSAT Governing Council and his team have continued to provide.
Other stakeholders discussed the importance of understanding democratic governance.
For the legislature to do the work of democracy, it must be able to have some kind of an institute or an institution that will serve as a repository for knowledge. You know, it is said that democracy dies in darkness.
Of course, knowledge has its place. Because knowing empowers us. Knowing helps us to make rational or informed choices. And knowing keeps us free. For what is the benefit of freedom if you don't even know that you have them, much less engage with them or fight for the preservation of those freedoms?
Furthermore, the NILDS director celebrated the achievements of graduates across various programs, urging continued efforts to remove barriers to women's education. The event also recognized influential leaders with the title of Fellow of the Institute, encouraging graduates to become proud ambassadors of NILDS in their future endeavors.